Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a segment of creating awareness of what domestic abuse may look like. I am Melinda, and I am an abuse survivor. So let's get on with this week's topic. This week, we are going to talk about recognizing the stages of devaluation. We're going to start with a scripture from Romans 12, third verse, from the King James Version. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. So, what we want to do this week is we really want to recognize the early stages of a person devaluing you because a lot of times it can be overlooked until it becomes more severe. So, my definition for devaluing in a relationship, this is when your partner intentionally and constantly belittles you or dismisses your feelings, thoughts, and your worth. Your intimate partner may seek out to undermine your achievements through criticizing us, ignoring us, while making dismissive comments towards us. And this is to make you feel insignificant as a person. Devaluating your partner is a form of emotional abuse. Emotional abuse is when your partner uses non physical behaviors that are meant to control, isolate, or frighten you. This can be done through extreme jealousy, intimidation, and toxic forms of manipulation, such as gaslighting, guilt tripping, and future faking. Yes, future faking can also emotionally abuse your partner because you're selling them lies that you never plan to live up to. So, what are some examples of the stages of devaluation? Let's say you go somewhere, you go to a nice shop, you buy yourself something nice and expensive, and you share with your partner because you're so excited about this item you bought. And then they say, oh, so you think you're better than other people. And it's like, where did that come from? Or maybe you tell your partner, you know what, I cut the grass today, I trimmed the bushes, I'm so proud of myself. And then they don't even acknowledge you. It's like that's that form of dismissiveness. Like, I'm not going to give you any recognition for what you did to make you feel proud of yourself. So let's say you, like me, I'm a truck driver. I might tell my ex partner, hey, I drove 3,000 miles this week. I can't believe I drove. That's the most miles I've driven ever. And they'll say, stop bragging. Why are you always bragging? So these are some examples of what the earlier stages of what it looks like when your partner is implanting this devaluation, this belittling in you. So what are some signs your partner is devaluing you? They may make you feel insignificant. Nothing you do is ever right for them. And if nothing you do is ever right for them, it's probably because they are the wrong person for you. Constant criticism. They verbally attack everything you do through nitpicking and sarcasm. Like you might say, "Ah, I really love Porsches. I want a Porsche one day." A Porsche? That's trash. Don't get that. You're wasting your money. But you notice if someone else's says around them, I really like Porsches. Oh, yeah, that's a really fine car. You should get that. They may constantly compare you to others, especially exes. And this is to make you feel inferior. So they may say something like, my ex still has the body they had when they were a teenager. And they're like 40, 50, 60. Like, really? Okay, why are you sharing with me that? I don't care. Or they may say things like, all my exes were extremely successful and highly educated. Okay, well, I graduated high school. What does that have to do with me? Maybe I didn't want a PhD or a master's or a bachelor's. Maybe I wasn't prepared for that at that time. And again, the reason they're devaluing you is to make you feel like you need to explain yourself to them. And you don't have to explain yourself to anyone for the choices you made because guess what? They're not going to explain themselves to you. They may even reduce to name calling. This is when they use a derogatory label to describe you. So they might say, you know what, as a female, a man talking to a woman, you're too masculine. Okay. And you could maybe rebuttal and say, well, what? Are you too feminine? And if they're severely toxic, they might even say something like, what did you say to me? Are you calling me a bitch? Well, then that lets you know how they look at females. They may say, you're too independent. And they're saying this because they want you to be more codependent and depend on them rather than to trust in the fact that you are fully capable of doing things yourself. They even may say something as derogatory as, you don't know how to be a woman. Well, last I checked, God made me. You didn't. They may also lack empathy. This is where they don't share or understand your thoughts or your feelings. You may share with them that, hey, you really hurt my feelings with what you said. And they'll tell you, you know what, you got soft skin, you need to toughen up. Or they may even say things like when you're out and about, you're too friendly, you're too nice. Well, that's who I am. So why should I change myself or become more hardcore like you when that's not who I am? So, what are some of the impacts of your partner constantly devaluing you? Low self esteem. You stop seeing your own value and you have feelings of unworthiness. You may develop trust issues and you start building up walls around your partner and your friends and family. You may also develop anxiety and depression, which is giving you feelings of hopelessness, and you may have trouble managing your stress and feeling overwhelmed all the time. Isolation. You start disconnecting from your friends and family members and you're always feeling alone. And I want to note that isolation, whenever you're in a relationship where you start feeling isolated or that you need to isolate yourself from especially your loved ones, that's a red flag and something you definitely want to put on your antenna or your radar that something might not be right here. So, what are some of the things that you can do when you start to notice that, you know what, I think my partner is starting these phases of devaluation in our relationship? Well, the first thing you can do is recognize the behavior. Try to identify when you feel your partner is devaluing you. Communicate your feelings. Your feelings are valid in your relationship. Let your partner know how devaluing you, diminishing you, or belittling you, how it's making you feel in the relationship. Look at the big picture. Consider the impact of their devaluation and take the necessary steps to protect your emotions. And if that fails, or if that doesn't work out, because I don't want to say anything fails because we try until we find something that works differently, distance yourself from your partner. If your concerns are falling on deaf ears, maybe it's time to walk away from that situation so that you can better reflect and have a better understanding on whether or not you need to be in this environment, especially if it's toxic. And lastly, seek therapy. I am a huge believer of therapy. I am in therapy. I've been in therapy for over 2 years now, and it is good to have an unbiased opinion to help you cope with everyday life stressors and just being able to communicate with someone how you really feel, especially if you aren't feeling safe enough to communicate your emotions with your partner. So I want to thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you like me on all of my social media outlets. Make sure you share. I would love to hear your feedback, and I hope you stay to the end. I actually made a short clip of what I feel the beginning stages of devaluation means. Take care. If no one told you they love you today, I love you.
Hey, babe. Yeah. No, I just came back from Acme. I was getting something for dinner tonight. Acme? Oh, what? Oh, you got money like that? Yeah, Acme. What's wrong with that? Oh, you think you better than people? No, they have sales and stuff. Look, man, you gotta stop being so prideful. You gotta be humble. You need to be humble. I'm not being prideful. No, no, you're not being humble right now. Huh? Okay. I mean, come on. Everybody can't shop at Acme. You need to humble yourself. Oh, okay. All right.